Good morning. This is part 2 of homemade dry washer. You may have seen my first video, part 1 of my first dry washer. That was wood frame construction. That one worked okay, but it had some issues. That was just a prototype to let me see what I needed to work out. That one was a little heavy and awkward to move around. It worked okay, but not quite right. I used it a little bit, found some gold, but it definitely showed me I needed to do some improvements. So here's the improvements here. What I did different on this one is it's got 5/8, or that's half by half square tube steel frame. I welded all together. Made it a little bit easier to move around, a little lighter, a little smaller. Used the crankshaft and the connecting rod and the motor out of the first model. DC electric motor out of a gate operator, and this is a Genie draw arm. But what I did different here was, before I had bronze bushings on the crankshaft, I've used pillow block bearings this time. Used a small bushing in there to reduce it down to the 3/8 crankshaft, so they're sealed and the dust wouldn't be grinding on them, because it seemed like the dirt was getting in those bearings and it was starting to get pretty sloppy. And then on this model here, my bellows is on the inside of the wood frame, so that it's all just round inside. There's nowhere to pinch. Before, I had the cloth on the outside and you'd get buildup of dust in here, and then it would start to jam up the bellows. So I changed that. And the riffle board, I made a wooden riffle board this time, and the other one I used that stainless steel real fine aircraft filter screen on the bottom of the riffles, and that was not restrictive enough. So I think it would only blow air real strong at the back, and the front wasn't getting equal amounts of air up through it. And I think that was because it couldn't build pressure, because it was not restrictive enough. So I used a cloth on the bottom from a real heavy tablecloth actually, and glued it on and made some steel riffles on the tops of the wood riffles that I have. And the top tray, just sheet aluminum bent around another square tube frame. Put some expanded metal on it. A little bit of more aluminum there for a shield to keep the rocks and dust that was falling off the backside off the crankshaft. And well, that's how that works there. Still left the bronze bushings in the connecting rod. That seemed to be holding up okay. So what I'm going to do here is I got some old tailings that I'm going to dump on it and show you how it works. Got about 10 hours on this one, and I have found some gold. Here, I got some right here in a vial. This is some gold that I've found. If we can see that. Found that with this already. Up in Red Bluff, California, a couple weeks ago. Okay, so here I'm going to dump some tailings on it. Show you how it works. See how it's bellows down there pumping. After you're done, the way I have this set up is shut your power off, and I made the top thing pops up, your little hopper, and then I have the riffle board just screwed down with some drywall screws. I haven't come up with a catch idea yet for it, but that's next in the works. So far this seems to work just fine. Just pull the riffle board up out of here. Dump it in a bucket, upside down. Not being real careful because I know there's no gold in this. This is just for example, and you pan that down. Then here's the bellows. See, I got the little valve here of a heavy piece of rubber. Well, you see all this dust. The other way I had the bag on the outside of this, it would start to build up in between here, and then it would eventually jam up and you'd have to get in there and clean it out. So that was one of the things I learned from the first model. But that's pretty much it. And I'm gonna get out as soon as possible and try it again, get some more gold. So that's how you make your own dry washer.